What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Do you like fresh fragrances? Of course you do. Who doesn't like fresh fragrances? Do you like them to perform really well? I bet you do. Now look, this is my experience on my skin, but in this video we're talking about 6 fresh fragrances that have some really good lasting power, projection, and sillage on my skin. Some better than others, but all well above average. Fresher elements, some of these have a little bit more scent profile character to them than others, but 6 great ones nonetheless. That's why we narrowed it down to 6 instead of bringing you 10. So let's talk about it. Stay tuned. Starting with one that, admittedly at first, the first time I smelled it, I was like, maybe my least favorite in the line. But then I blew through the decant and ended up getting a bottle not long ago. We're talking about Giorgio Armani's Acqua Eau de Parfum. I've grown to really enjoy this one. This is an 8 to 10 hour fragrance on my skin with really good projection for a solid 2+ hours. It smells so good. A little bit of orange citrus. Of course, it has those aquatic notes that the line is known for. A lot of aromatics here. You've got lavender and sage. It does come across on the green side. Not as green as the original, but enough green in the smell to tie to the original. Because the original gets called an aquatic, and it is, but it's got a lot of green and somewhat fresh, spicy elements to it. And you get a little bit of that here with some woods. It's nothing crazy complex, but it still smells like Acqua di Gio, just a richer, more refined take on it. Maybe not as smooth, obviously not as dark as the Parfum or Profumo, because they have, enhanced patchouli, they have more spice to them, and of course they have the incense note. This is kind of the happy medium where you get a little bit more density and depth without adding the darkness of the latter. Beautiful fragrance. I strongly encourage you to check this one out. Doesn't seem to get a lot of shine. And that's kind of a crime, to be completely ended up rhyming. It's random, but this is actually really good. I was not underwhelmed the first time I smelled it, but I wasn't impressed. But as time has gone on, very much impressed. This is great if you like stuff on the fresher side with great performance, and it's a timeless scent profile. It's Acqua di Gio Eau de Parfum. Now this is a personal favorite of mine. It's actually my favorite fresh Mancera fragrance. It is French Riviera. If you've been watching this channel for a while, you've heard me talk about this one at least a time or two before. Loads of citrus, fresh spices. There's a creamy white floral and very watery at the same time. A little salty, but not crazy salt water. Like there's a slight iodine smell to it, to where it's a little salty, breezy type of feel. This is a vibe in itself. Such a laid-back summer day. I love smelling this fragrance. And this is another one. 8 to 10 hours solid on my skin. Not overwhelming projection for 2 hours, but strong enough, pronounced, not overwhelming, just kind of goes with the vibe. It's a vibing kind of fragrance. I know some people can't stand that word, but it's just how I feel when I smell this fragrance. I give full support, backing, and recommendation to this one. I encourage anyone and everyone to give this one a shot. Get a sample, get a decant, something. Don't just blind buy it because I love it. Doesn't necessarily mean you will, but this is top 5 from the house. I have around 35, 40 Mancera fragrances at this point. Smelled many more beyond that, and this is an easy top 5 fragrance for me. My favorite of the fresh Manceras that I have. This is going to be great for you to pick up for your next summer addition to your wardrobe. I'm telling you, get your nose on if you want performance. A slight, unique, light blue, fresh feel with some density and a little bit of depth. Check out Mancera French Riviera. Now then, the easiest way to describe this is its fruity tropical sauvage. It is Gisada Ambassador. I'm such a fan of this one. I actually prefer it to the Intense. This does smell like Sauvage EDT with some mango. You get the metallic tones, that Ambroxan type of smell, even though it's really lavender, but they might have, it took a little bit to focus. They might have some Ambroxan in here. I don't recall it being listed, but you get some peppery notes. It's metallic, has the shower gel smell, but a lot of fruitiness, mainly from the mango. There's other things going on, but that mango really stands out. I love when I smell this fragrance. I would take this over Sauvage EDT every time. Every time. It's like taking Sauvage on a tropical vacation. It's kind of how you can look at it. So if you can't stand Sauvage, you may not like this. But if you want Sauvage with a more beach profile, if you will, a more summer vacation type of feel to it, you might want to look into Gisada Ambassador. Performance is phenomenal on this one. I get more in that 10-hour range of longevity, and it's a very loud fragrance. That anosmia and, olfactive fatigue seems to be a real issue with it. Not as bad as I get with Sauvage, but pretty close. Definitely pulled a few compliments for me. Not some overwhelming compliment beast. I don't wear it all the time. I'm sure if I wore it more, I'd get even more compliments out of it, if that matters to any of you. Again, everybody's situation is different, but if you want fresh while being familiar and very powerful, I would strongly encourage you to get your nose on Gisada Ambassador. Fresh, aromatic, a little musky, even though they don't list any musk. Very woodsy. Very, very woodsy fragrance. Woody aromatics, how I would classify it. It is Yves Saint Laurent's Y Eau de Parfum Intense. Now, I don't find it to be more intense than Y Eau de Parfum, but I do find it to be fresher and a better versatile everyday wear. It doesn't have the same level of sweetness. There's a little bit of sweetness here, but it's not as heavy on like this apple note that the Eau de Parfum has. You get a lot of spice and aromatics. Get a lot of ginger here that's tied to a lot of the fragrances in the DNA. As it dries down, it becomes more about cedar wood and elements like that, a little bit of patchouli, but heavy on the aromatic side, your lavenders, sages, stuff like that. And the ginger really provides a good tie-in to, I think, more so the Y Le Parfum flanker, so it's got that smoothness to it up front. It's not a real crisp ginger, but it does add a nice creamy, slightly spicy element to the fragrance. And another one that's 8 to 10 hours of longevity on my skin every time I've worn it. Projection is not overwhelming. I would say a solid hour and a half to 2 hours of pretty pronounced but not room-filling type of stuff if you're the moderate to light sprayer. If you're a heavy sprayer, you can make a ridiculous scent bubble, I'm sure, because number of sprays dictates the amount it's coming off of your skin, how strong it's going to come across, not how long it's going to last on your skin. But this is good stuff. I was a little underwhelmed the first time I smelled it, but the more I spray it, the more it grows on me, the more I think this is the best everyday wear of the bunch, if I'm being totally honest here. Totally worth checking out. It has all of the freshness with all of the depth that you would want from the scent profile without any of that cloying sweetness that I get from the Eau de Parfum. This is Yves Saint Laurent's Y EDP Intense. A little bit of that bubblegum smell, mint aquatic, fresh, a little fruity. This is good stuff. It performs really well. This is a solid 10 hours for me. It's Rasasi Hawas Ice, the newest release in the line. Some prefer it to Hawas, and I'm very indifferent. One day I might tell you I still prefer Hawas. The next day I might be vibing with this one a little bit more. It's a day-to-day thing because they're both just that good. There is some redundancy, though. As far as the freshness aspect, I think this is the fresher of the two. That mint really livens things up in the opening of this one. It is overall a lighter blue fragrance, whereas Hawas is more bubblegum heavy, sweet, a lot more spice, like cinnamon and cardamom really stand out to that one. You don't sacrifice much performance here from Hawas being a monster for me, whereas this is one click back of being a monster. It really is. It's still a very long-lasting fragrance with really strong projection and sillage. It's much more readily available. I saw it just today on Fragrance Buy, actually in the link down below, for $52. At the recording of this, it's still in stock. $52, kind of going rate for what Hawas has been on the more affordable side of what Hawas has been for years now. And this is already at that point. I would strongly encourage you checking this out. If you want a little bit of a twist on some familiarity, the kind of the Invictus Acqua style with some minty tones. That's kind of the twist that I'm talking about. Great performer as well. This is lovely to smell. It's Hawas Ice. You want watery, you want citrusy, you want fruity, you want a little bit of green elements. A bit of that shower gel, Dior Sauvage, and Broxton type of thing going on. Fresh, performs. Some people's favorite version of Polo Blue. It's Ralph Lauren's Polo Deep Blue Parfum. This performs. This is a great performer. Metallic, fruity. It has this green mango note that Ralph Lauren likes to use in a lot of their different Polo lines. It's used in the black and double black fragrances. It's used in a varied number of the Polo Blue flankers. They just really like this green mango note. And so do I. Some fresh greens. I believe cypress is in here. It has a little bit of that Ambroxan smell. A little bit of spices. It's aquatic and watery. And like I said, it performs. It has all that freshness with a bit of depth. That's what I really enjoy about these 6 picks, is they're not just basic, airy, watery, citrus fresh. These have some true scent profile character to them, a little bit deeper and a bit more interesting, that can be worn year round. So you get great freshness and great performance. I don't know what more you can ask for, because the fresh fragrances are highly complimented, very attractive, and super easy to wear. And this kind of gets left out of conversation these days because there's just a flood of fragrances like this on the market. But this one still deserves a spot at the table because it's a great performer that still holds all the freshness you're looking for. It's Polo Deep Blue Parfum. Well, short and sweet. That was the 6 that I wanted to discuss with you today. And until next time, do me a real quick favor. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, because I do appreciate all the feedback. And I love hearing from you guys. Of these 6, what are you familiar with? What have you tried? Do you agree with my assessments? Do they perform weaker for you? Do they perform better for you? Because we are the variable, folks. What happens with me might not happen with you. You might get even better performance than I do. You never know. Everybody's olfactive perception and nose sensitivity and then skin chemistry, it all plays a role. We're such a variable. We really are. And until next time, I will say, if you get your hands on any of the 6 that I featured in this video and you give them a spray now, you might end up thanking me later. Have a good one, guys.